Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Wednesday, August 3rd, 2022. Today we're going to go over results from primaries in Michigan, Kansas, and Washington. And I apologize we didn't get to it yesterday because we had a lot to do with the trade deadline with the show. Then we'll go over the results from baseball, WNBA, and Major League Soccer, and look ahead to today's games in each sport. We'll go over the tee times for the Wyndham Championship. But we will start the show with news and notes. And we had some very sad news that came across last night. The great Vince Scully has passed away at the age of 94. He obviously was the voice of the Dodgers for 67 years. He was with them when they were the Brooklyn Dodgers. So there's so much history there. He also did NFL and PGA, amazingly enough. Just a really, really sad night in Major League Baseball. He was the best announcer the sport has ever seen. He is the person that everyone looks upon as a role model, an inspiration to even a younger generation of people that want to become broadcasters in the future. He was amazing. He always had a smile on his face, always was entertaining. He was half glass full. He lived a great life. His wife Sandra passed away last year, so he is now reunited with his wife, which was even more sad. Before he married his late wife Sandy, he was married. His first wife had passed away the year before. He married his second wife, Sandy, as Joan, his first wife, passed away over an accidental medical overdose. And they were married for 15 years. And Vince Scully and Sandy had a child together. And Sandra had two children of her own. And Scully's oldest son, Michael, passed in a helicopter crash at the age of 33 while working for the Arco Transportation Company. So he's reunited with his oldest son. And he passed at his home in Hidden Hills, California. Vin did, obviously, at the age of 94. And like I said, 67 years broadcasting the Dodgers, Brooklyn and Los Angeles. He won the 14th Frick Award in 1982, the Commissioner's Historic Achievement Award in 2014, the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2016. He has a Hollywood Walk of Fame star, and deservingly so, and his Los Angeles Dodgers microphone is retired by the organization. He was born in the Bronx, went to Fordham University. There's so many great broadcasters right now that went to Fordham and really spoke highly about Vince Scully. Like Yankees play-by-play announcer Michael Kay had a close relationship with Scully. And I remember Scully coming on the Michael Kay show several times. As Kay, I believe, won the Vince Scully award that Fordham gives out. So, Kay was a winner of that. So, 67 years with the Dodgers. He worked for CBS Sports for 7 years. One of his most famous calls was Dwight Clark's touchdown in the NFC Championship game in the 1981 season that put the 49ers into the Super Bowl. So that's a memory. And then he leaves CBS for NBC. He was with NBC for 6 years as he was their lead baseball broadcaster. He calls the Saturday Game of the Week. He called 3 World Series, 4 National League Championship Series, and 4 All-Star games. So he called the 1988 World Series where the Dodgers won, as he called Kirk Gibson's famous home run. He also called the Mets World Series title in 1986 when Bill Buckner made the 10th inning error, which led to the Mets comeback. So many memories with Scully. And he left NBC in 89 to primarily focus with his Dodgers duties. So many great Dodger moments for Scully. And he actually missed the Dodgers opening homestand in 2012. The first 5 out of the 6 games because of an illness, as he returned to the booth on April 15, 2012, which was the 65th anniversary of Jackie Robinson's breaking of the color barrier in baseball. And it was the second of 2 times that Scully missed a Dodger Stadium home game in his career with the team, with the first time when he was busy broadcasting the Masters for CBS in 1977. Vince Scully was just a warrior. He was a rock in that Dodgers booth. He was somebody you wanted to listen to when you were having a bad day. He's always full of life. Just a very sad day yesterday in sports. And thoughts and prayers go out to the Dodgers organization, his family, the Dodger fans, the city of Los Angeles. A really hard couple years in LA, Kobe, Vince Scully. So I really feel for the Los Angeles fans out there. So I just want to open with Vince Scully, obviously, because it's just the biggest story right now. And we had to open with this. And the Dodgers were the ones who reported the news on their own. And they said, we have lost an icon. And Ernie Johnson had an excellent tribute on CBS for Vin. A ton of baseball announcers such as Michael Kay and John Sciambi of the Cubs came on the SportsCenter to talk about Scully, and a lot of the reporters on ESPN came on, like Tim Kurkjian and Buster Olney. And then on MLB Network, you had people like Bob Costas come on and share his memories of Vin as well. So, like I said, a very hard day for Major League Baseball yesterday. And I really would put Scully on the Dodgers' Mount Rushmore, because that's how special he was to that organization. And he, like I said, was the best to do it. And there'll be nobody like Vin Scully. Now we'll get into the other news and notes. Juan Soto says goodbye to the Nationals after he was traded to the Padres. Always feel honored to have been a National, he said. And speaking of the Nats, 30-year-old rookie Joey Meneses hit a home run as his first hit after spending 10 years in the minors. A 30-year-old rookie hitting a homer for the Nationals. Isn't that something? Some NFL news. Ravens finally signed David Ojabo, the last unsigned rookie of the 2022 draft class, and he's still rehabbing from his torn Achilles. There's been talk about concerns about Matthew Stafford's arm at a training camp. There's a big controversy in the NFL that went down yesterday. The Miami Dolphins lose draft picks for tampering. As they're talking to Brady in 2019, and they contacted Sean Payton's agent in January. Their dream plan was to have the Sean Payton-Tom Brady combo, and they got neither of that. So they get docked a 2023 first-round pick and a 2024 third-round pick for tampering. That is a pretty harsh punishment, and Stephen Ross, the owner, suspended, I believe, for 6 weeks, and got fined, I believe, $1.5 million. So that's a pretty steep punishment for someone who I feel is one of the worst owners in the sport. And there's some conspiracy theories going around. Well, multiple of them. One of them being that the NFL is using the tampering as an excuse to give them the big fine and the suspension and the stripping of draft picks, rather than the reason of Ross offering Brian Flores money for them to intentionally lose games. As Flores says, he's disappointed the NFL's investigation minimized Stephen Ross's offers to tank games. So that's my conspiracy theory. I think that was why they got the heavy fine and the suspension and the draft picks taken away. And they used the tampering rather than the tanking thing with Brian Flores. And another thing is that a lot of people feel that they announced this today because they know they got a lot of crap for Deshaun Watson's suspension. I gave the NFL a lot of crap on Tuesday's podcast for the lack of games that Watson was suspended for. So, of course, in NFL fashion, they go out and announce this Dolphins thing to make people distracted of the short suspension Deshaun Watson got. And there's a lot of people on radio stations saying that too, and I'm with them 100%. Bad news for the Denver Broncos. Tim Patrick has a torn ACL. That is really bad news for the Broncos. Tim Patrick's a big part of that offense. And with the quarterback upgrade, I'm sure that they were having big expectations for Tim Patrick. So that is really sad news for them. There's a new trailer for Hard Knocks. As the first episode will be available for streaming on August 9th on HBO Max, so 6 days from now. And Roger Goodell's quote on the Miami thing. The investigators found tampering violations of unprecedented scope and severity. Deebo Samuel shut down rumors as he clears up the narrative that he was unhappy with his role last season. Hockey news. The Calgary Flames re-sign a big part of their team. Winger Andrew Magnapane to a 3-year deal, 5.8 annual average per year. So that's a good re-signing for the Calgary Flames. It's like a 3 years, $17 million contract for Mangiapane. There's a video of LeBron James's family in the Lakers facility working out. It's LeBron, Bronny, and Bryce. And there's a video of Kawhi Leonard looking jacked. It was in a weight room. And the last news I want to get to is that there will be a U.S. women's national team England friendly on October 7th at Wembley. So that is very interesting that the U.S. women's soccer team in England get a friendly at Wembley. All right, now I'm going to go over the results of the primaries that went down yesterday. Michigan had a lot of major ones. 3rd, 8th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th congressional districts and governor. So, Republican primary, your winner was Tudor Dixon with 40.6% of the vote, with 85% counted. And Gretchen Whitmer wins uncontested. And then the House for Michigan. District 3, Hillary Schoten wins uncontested on the Democrat side, and Republican side, John Gibbs wins 51.8% of the vote with 88% counted. 8th, Daniel Kildee wins uncontested in Democrat, and Republican Paul Jung wins 53.7% of the vote with 98% counted. District 10, your Democratic side winner, Carl Marlinga, with 47.8% of the vote, with 98% counted. And Republican John James, 86.3% of the vote, with 85% counted. District 11, Democrat Haley Stevens wins 60% of the vote, with 96% counted. And Republican Mark Ambrose, 70.5% of the vote, with 96% counted. District 12, Democrat Rashida Tlaib, 63.8% of the vote, with 80% counted. She was the incumbent. And Republican Stephen Elliott, 52.9% of the vote, with 67% counted. District 13, Democrat, your leader right now, Cherie Thiniger, 28.3% of the vote, 68% counted, so that's not over yet. And Republican Martell Bivings went uncontested in the Republican primary. Next up, we will get into Kansas, as they had governor and attorney general. So their governor, Democratic incumbent Laura Kelly, 93.8% of the vote. Your Democratic winner, 96% in. Republican Derek Schmidt, 80.6% of the vote, with 98% in. Attorney General, Republican Chris Kobach, 42.3% of the vote, with 97% counted for Republican. And Democrat Chris Mann went uncontested. And next up is Washington. U.S. Senate and 3rd, 4th, and 8th congressional districts. So the Senate, Patty Murray, the Democrat incumbent, 54.0% of the vote, 48% counted. And Tiffany Smiley, 32% of the vote. And the U.S. House, 3rd district, not over yet. Marie Perez in the lead with 31.8% of the vote, 56% counted. And Jamie Herrera Butler, the incumbent, 24.5% of the vote, with 56% counted. District 4, in the lead right now is Dan Newhouse, the incumbent. 27.3% of the vote with 46% counted. And then in second, Democrat Doug White, 26% of the vote. And District 8, Democrat incumbent Kim Schreier, 49.4% of the vote with 52% counted. And then that's locked up. But the second in District 8 is not done yet. Matt Larkin right now is in second with 15.9% of the vote. And on Thursday, we have one for Tennessee that we will cover. It is the 5th Congressional District. The polls close Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So we'll do that one on the Thursday podcast. All right, now we'll get into sports. Major League Baseball. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to the games today. Padres over the Rockies 13-5. Padres 59-46. Colorado 46-59. Reds over the Marlins 2-1. Reds 42-61. Miami 47-57. Pirates over the Brewers 5-3. Pirates 41-62. Milwaukee 57-46. Nationals over the Mets 5-1. Nats 36-69. The Mets 65-38. I called that one, but not the outright win for the Nats. But I thought they were going to at least cover the 1.5. Mariners over the Yankees 8-6. The Mariners are 56-45. New York 56-49. And New York is 70-35. D-backs over the Guardians 6-3. D-backs 46-57. Cleveland 53-50. Blue Jays over the Rays 3-1. Blue Jays 58-45. Tampa 54-49. Braves over the Phillies 13-1. Braves 63-41. Philly 55-48. Twins lose at home to the Tigers 5-3. Detroit 42-63. Minnesota 54-49. Cardinals over the Cubs 6-0. So best bet was a winner. Yay! St. Louis 55-48. Chicago 41-61. Adam Wainwright with the shutout. Orioles over the Rangers 8-2. The Orioles 53-51. Texas 46-57. So Orioles in the over. I was right about that. Red Sox over the Astros 2-1. Red Sox 53-52. Houston 67-38. White Sox over the Royals 9-2. White Sox 52-51. KC 41-63. Angels over the A's 3-1. Angels 44-59. Oakland 39-66. Dodgers over the Giants 9-5. Dodgers 70-33. And San Francisco 51-53. So the Dodgers a game up on the Yankees for the best record in baseball. 2 back in the loss column. So the second team to 70 wins. And the Padres over the Rockies 3-2 in doubleheader game 2. Padres 60-46. Colorado 46-60. Now we look ahead to today's games. 12 o'clock you have the Blue Jays at the Rays. Yusei Kikuchi and Jalen Beeks. You're going to think that everybody's going to do moments of silence today. This is a pick of -108 each way. Over under 8. Over is -104. Under is -118. Blue Jays -1.5 is +158. Rays +1.5 is -192. A pick 'em on the money line. Blue Jays favorite on the run line. I'm picking Tampa -108. 54.8 according to ESPN Analytics. 12:20 Phillies Braves. Zach Wheeler and Charlie Morton. Braves -136. Phillies +116. Over under 7.5. Over is -114. Under is -106. Phillies +1.5 is -178. Braves -1.5 is +130 or +146. For this one, I'm going to go with the over. Charlie Morton hasn't been awesome at all, so I like the over. Mariners-Yankees at 1. Luis Castillo making his Mariners debut against Garrett Cole. How do you like that? Yanks -198. Seattle +166. Over under 7.5. Over is -102. Under is -120. Mariners +1.5 is -130. Yankees -1.5 is +108. I hate the pick, but I'm going with the Yankees run line. Hate it, but I have to because Yankees are over 70% according to ESPN Analytics, and they're plus money on the run line. So Yankees -1.5 and +108's the pick. Diamondbacks Guardians. Tommy Henry making his debut against Shane Bieber. Cleveland minus 230. D-backs plus 190. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. D-backs plus 1.5 is minus 102. Guardians minus 1.5 is minus 118. I'm going to go with the under because I think Bieber's going to pitch tremendous. Tigers Twins. Tyler Alexander and Joe Ryan. Twins minus 215. Tigers plus 180. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 115. Unders minus 105. Tigers plus 1.5 is minus 111. Twins minus 1.5 is minus 108. I'm going to lay the 1.5 with the Twins on the run line. Don't feel strong about it, though. 2 o'clock, you have the Orioles at the Rangers. Kyle Bradish and Martin Perez. Rangers minus 162. Orioles plus 136. Over under 7.5. Overs minus 115. Unders minus 105. Orioles plus 1.5 is minus 156. Rangers minus 1.5 is plus 130. I'm going with the over. Bradish is not good. And I think Martin Perez's second half regression is coming. Red Sox Astros. Rich Hill and Jose Urquidy. For some reason, I can't find that game on our board here. Maybe DraftKings has it, but that's bizarre. That game is not yet posted on FanDuel. DraftKings doesn't have it either, so there must have been like a change or something. But either way, I'm probably going to go with the over in that one. Royals White Sox. Brady Singer and Lance Lynn. White Sox minus 156. Royals plus 132. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. Royals plus 1.5 is minus 160. White Sox minus 1.5 is plus 132. I'm going to go with the White Sox first half run line, minus 0.5 at minus 105. I don't feel strong about it, though. Mets Nationals at 4 o'clock. Chris Bassett and Anibal Sanchez. Mets minus 260. Nats plus 215. Over under 9. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. Mets minus 1.5 is minus 164. Nats plus 1.5 is plus 136. I'm going with the under in the game because I think Chris Bassett will pitch well. So I like the under 9. That's high for the Nats. 6:30 Reds Marlins. Mike Minor and Sandy Alcantara. Marlins minus 200. Reds plus 168. Over under 7. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. Reds plus 1.5 is minus 128. Marlins minus 1.5 is plus 106. I'm laying the 1.5 at the Marlins run line plus 106. Brewers Pirates. Freddie Peralta and Tyler Beede. Milwaukee minus 215. Pirates plus 180. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 114. Unders minus 106. Brewers minus 1.5 is minus 134. Pirates plus 1.5 is plus 112. I'm going with the under. 7:45 Cubs Cardinals. Justin Steele and Miles Mikolas. Cardinals minus 178. Cubs plus 150. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 104. Unders minus 118. Cubs plus 1.5 is minus 128. Cardinals minus 1.5 is plus 108. That's a hard one. I'm going to go with a juiced under 8.5 at minus 118. 9:30 Angels hosting the Athletics. James Kaprielian and Shohei Ohtani. Angels minus 230. A's plus 190. Over under 7. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. A's plus 1.5 is minus 115. Angels minus 1.5 is minus 104. For this one, the first half ones aren't up yet, which sucks. But I'm going to begrudgingly pick the over because James Kaprielian hasn't been that good. And the Angels bullpen's worse with the trades. Rockies Padres, Chad Cole and Blake Snell. For some reason, that game on FanDuel's not posted, but that is a game I'm probably going to look at the over. And 9:45, the Dodgers at the Giants. Julio Urias, Alex Cobb. Dodgers minus 176. Giants plus 148. Over under 7.5. Minus 110 each way. Dodgers minus 1.5 is minus 105. Giants plus 1.5 is minus 114. I'm going with the Giants on the run line plus 1.5 and minus 114. 41.3 according to ESPN Analytics to win. And they're plus 1.5 and minus 114 on the run line. So I like the Giants run line. And I just like that Dodgers might be a little bit distracted, and rightfully so. So I'm going to go take San Francisco. Alrighty, now I'll move on to the WNBA. We'll recap the games from yesterday and look ahead to tonight's games. Sun over the Mercury, 87-63. The Sun, 21-10. Phoenix, 13-18. Liberty killed the Sparks, 102-73. The Liberty get a big one. They're 12-18. And so is LA. I was way wrong about that game. Mystics over the Aces, 83-73. Mystics 20-12. And Vegas is 22-9. Wings over the Sky, 84-78. Wings 14-16. Sky 23-8. I was wrong about a lot of those games. Saturday, I'm saying Saturday for. Tonight you have at 7 o'clock you have the Fever at the Dream. Interesting game. The Dreamer favored by 8.5. Totals 160.5. I'm gonna go with the over in that game. CBS Sports Network, you have the Sparks at the Liberty. Rematch from last night. Liberty favored by 6.5. Totals 165.5. I'm gonna say the Sparks bounce back. I don't know if they'll win outright, but they'll cover the number. And 10 o'clock NBA TV, you have the Lynx and the Storm. The Storm are favored by 6.5. Totals 161.5. I'm going to lay the 6.5 with the Seattle Storm. I think that number is pretty low. All right, Major League Soccer. We had some games last night. We'll get to them. And I'm unsure whether there's games tonight or not. I'm going to check. And there is. There's 4 of them. All right. Colorado over the Red Bulls, 5-4 in what was a high-scoring affair. And Seattle over Dallas, 1-0. All right, 4 games, like I mentioned at the top of the segment. 7 o'clock, you have Charlotte hosting DC United. Charlotte, only 2 wins in their last 5. They lost their last 2. And DC United just won their last game, but winless in their previous 4 before their last game. Charlotte's a home favorite, minus 150. DC's plus 350, draw plus 270. DC's last in the East. Charlotte is 10th. They are 3 points back of the last playoff spot from Cincy. For this game, I'm going to go with over 3.5 goals at plus 196. 7:30, you have Columbus hosting CF Montreal. Columbus 6th in the East. Well, tied for 5th with Orlando. Montreal is 3rd in the East. But they're even in terms of goal differential, which is pretty odd. Columbus is even money at home. Montreal's plus 230, draw plus 240. I'm going with Columbus at even money at home. I like that pick a lot. 10:30, you have Portland hosting Nashville. Portland in their last 5 is rotating draws and wins. Nashville's drawn in their last 2 contests. Nashville 7th in the West with 32 points, tied with Seattle, actually. And Portland is 1 point back with a plus goal differential as well. Nashville's plus 115 at home. Portland's 2-1 draw plus 240. I'm going to go with the draw at plus 240. And last but not least, San Jose's hosting Miami. San Jose's winless in their last 3. Miami has, like San Jose's, won 1 game of their last 5. Miami is 11th in the East. San Jose is 13th in the West. So this is not a good matchup by all accounts. San Jose is a slight favorite at home, minus 120. Miami plus 260, draw plus 280. For this game, I'm going to go over 3.5 goals at plus 150. So no soccer tomorrow, and they'll resume Friday. So we'll talk about it on both shows. But obviously, we'll preview games on Friday's show and recap games on tomorrow's show. All right, now we'll look at the tee times for the Wyndham Championship, which is going to be played at Sedgefield Country Club in North Carolina. 6:50, Doc Redmond, Vincent Whaley, Nate Watney, Taylor Gainey, John Hahn, Scott Brown. 7:01, Adam Shane, Kevin Strillman, Aaron Batterley, Camilo Vegas, Kevin Chappell, and Brian Stewart. 7:12, Stefan Yeager, Doug Gibb, Max McGreevy, Charlie Hoffman, Anirban Lahiri, and David Ligmerth. 7:23, Brian Harmon, Zach Johnson, Ryan Brem, Harry English, Brendan Todd, and Matt Trainer. 7:34, Andrew Landry, Garrick Higo, Chesra V, Justin Rose, Lucas Donald, Tyrell Hatton. 7:45, Tyler Duncan, Keith Mitchell, Michael Thompson, Webb Simpson, Davis Love III, and Kevin Kisner. 7:56, Richie Wierenski, Patton Kazir, JT Potts, and Will Zalatoris, Sanjay Yim, and Martin Laird. 8:07, Cam Champ, Chad Ramey, Hank Lebiota, Kierdrick Effer Bernat, Chasen Hadley, and Sung-Hoo Kang. 8:18, Henrik Norlander, Brandon Hagee, Sam Ryder, Mark Hubbard, Scott Piercy, Cam Percy. 8:29, Wesley Bryan, Aaron Weiss, Harry Higgs, Rudy Sabatini, Ben Martin, Roger Sloan. 8:40, David Riley, Patrick Rogers, Matthias Schwab, Bryce Garnett, Daniel Lee, Mackenzie Hughes. 8:51, Jared Wolf, Andrew Novak, Joshua Creel, Dylan Wu, Dolly Vanderwalt, and Chris Gotterup. 9:02, Bo Hogg, Paul Barjan, Austin Smotherman, Ben Coles, Trent Phillips, and Tommy Gibson. Afternoon session, 12:05. Adam Svebson, Hayden Buckley, Vincent Taylor, Ricky Barnes, David Lipsky, and Peter Malnati. 12:16, Taylor Moore, Lucas Hodges, Christian Ziedenhout, Russell Knox, Denny McCarthy, and Kelly Kraft. 12:27, Harold Varner III, Brandon Wu, Grayson Murray, Taylor Pendrith, Bo Van Pelt, and Austin Cook. 12:38, Sebastian Munoz, Corey Connors, Joo Hyung Kim, Nate Taylor, Brandon Gray, and Danny Willett. 12:49, Kevin Tway, Ricky Fowler, Stuart Stink, Lucas Glover, Kyle Cooley, Robert Streb. 1 o'clock, Joel Dobbin, Sepp Straka, Brett Horschel, Shane Lowry, Joachim Herman, and William McGirt. 1:11, JJ Spawn, Saibu Kim, Chungson Pong, Adam Scott, Jason Day, and Adam Long. 1:22, Alex Molly, Robert Garrigus, Ryan Moore, Scott Gutcheski, Ryan Henley, James Hahn. 1:33, Aaron Ray, Matt Wallace, Rafa Cabrera Bello, Chris Stroud, Adam Putnam, and Sodi Kodiara. 1:44, Matthew Neesmith, Kramer Hickok, Brandon Haas, Jason Duffner, Scott Stallings, and Jonathan Bird. 1:55, Rick Lamb, Chase Seifert, Grayson Sigg, Benjamin Griffin, Callum Tarrant, and David Skins. 2:06, Michael Giljic, Camp Thompson, Seth Reeves, Cole Hammer, and Mickey DeMorit. 217, Justin Lauer, Jim Noes, Yannick Paul, Joseph Brumlett, Blake Mishea, and Brett Druitt. So, a pick for the Wyndham Championship. I'm going to go with someone who I picked a couple weeks ago and did very well. But I just think he's due. Where is he? On the odds sheet. There he is, 50-1. I'm going with Justin Rose. I like Justin Rose a lot. I'm going to lay a fifth of a unit on it. So 50-1 Justin Rose to win the Wyndham Championship. And last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. Pretty odd doing the podcast in a different way, but we had to do it today because of the circumstances with Vince Scully. So I wanted to start the show with that. So best bet today. A lot of tough calls. But I do like the Orioles, Rangers over 7.5. I think Martin Perez is going to have a second half regression. I don't think Kyle Bradish is any good. The Rangers bullpen stinks. The Orioles are still playing well despite trading away Trey Mancini. So, I'm going to lay a quarter unit on over 7.5 between the Orioles and the Rangers for my best bet of the day. So that's it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything and looking ahead to everything going on today. And we have Tennessee Primaries to discuss as well. And news and notes and best bet, of course. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.